it has been a cover-up. Now, I think that part of what happened, and call me cynical, but I think the truth is going to come out in 2025. I think when Donald Trump is inaugurated as president and Elon Musk has protection as part of the American government, I think truth is going to start coming out on this. Let's see. But it's quite clear to me that at the very least, events were choreographed. Things were covered up and kept from public view. And then these protests suddenly escalated into riots, suddenly. And we were told, weren't we, that there were going to be hundreds more, which then got all these sort of coordinated mobs out with their Socialist Workers' Party placards magically churned out overnight from printing presses up and down the country. And then, of course, we had the Judge Judy trials, the show trials, where people were thrown in prison for social media posts. And then after all of this has happened, then the truth comes out, at which point, basically, people are too scared to speak. They're too scared to act. I believe it was deliberately choreographed.
It's the moment, the horrifying moment, that Keir Starmer, Slippery Starmer, Two-Tier Keir, refuses to meet any locals after the Southport massacre. Watch.
How many more children have died in our streets, Prime Minister? How many more children? How many more children, Prime Minister? Are we going to do something? Time to change, Starmer. Come on, it's needed. How many more children? Is it mine next? Stand up for our children. Bye-bye.
Now, Alex Phillips, I have a theory on this. I think this is why Starmer cracked down so hard and implemented his two-tier justice, because he was aware of the anger, the visceral anger, when he went to visit Southport. And you know, there is this narrative that has developed in the mainstream media that, oh, all of these far-right thugs were shipped into the area. Not in that case. They were locals. They were people who knew children in that Taylor Swift dance class, and they were utterly devastated that the Prime Minister went to their community and then refused to speak to them.
Yeah, you know, Dan, we are in a mess, not just in the UK, but across the whole of the West. Politicians, successive governments now have gone for open borders in the hope that it will sort of adapt to a form of global socialism, which no one wanted. And we have allowed some very dangerous people with very poisonous and toxic attitudes to take root within our communities. And we're going to see a lot more terror attacks as a result. People know what went on in Southport. They knew from the beginning. You know when someone is going to go and murder little girls, that is a problem, and you can assume why. Now, what's fascinating, of course, is the terror charge was brought much later. They would have known or assumes that he had connections to terrorism at the time of the event. Without doubt, Number 10 would have been briefed when they had found ricin in that man's bedroom. And it has been a cover-up. Now, I think that part of what happened, and call me cynical, but I think the truth is going to come out in 2025. I think when Donald Trump is inaugurated as president and Elon Musk has protection as part of the American government, I think truth is going to start coming out on this. Let's see. But it's quite clear to me that at the very least, events were choreographed. Things were covered up and kept from public view. And then these protests suddenly escalated into riots, suddenly. And we were told, weren't we, that there were going to be hundreds more, which then got all these sort of coordinated mobs out with their Socialist Workers' Party placards magically churned out overnight from printing presses up and down the country. And then, of course, we had the Judge Judy trials, the show trials, where people were thrown in prison for social media posts. And then after all of this has happened, then the truth comes out, at which point, basically, people are too scared to speak. They're too scared to act. I believe it was deliberately choreographed. Now, in terms of the protests and the escalation into riots, I don't know, but one assumes they could easily have been infiltrated by, let's say, professional rioters. whether they belong to foreign countries. We know this is the sort of way that Russia and Iran like to play games in other countries, or whether perhaps they even belong to our own country. I don't know. That might sound like a weird allegation, but something is very off. We know that the sequence of events after that horrific stabbing has been very deliberately curated.
Absolutely. To shut us up. And Alex, I don't care if people throw around the conspiracy theorist term. I said it at the time. I believe that the so-called riots were infiltrated by Antifa. There is lots of evidence to suggest that was the case. So I don't disagree with anything that you laid out there, because the argument is it did work. People are now terrified to protest, because so many protesters, and they were genuine protesters, ended up being locked up. Alex Armstrong, you pointed out another incident earlier this year when Starmer was heckled. So this is becoming quite commonplace for a prime minister who apparently won in a landslide. But first, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. He says they hardly make a dent on your appearance, and some can even be harmful to your skin. Recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices. Why? So he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough, one that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. It's almost like Photoshop for your face. You may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view. That's what Lake told reporters. His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the age rewinder method, because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. In light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public, free and uninterrupted, where he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. He says if this even helps one person look younger or feel more confident, I'll be thrilled knowing I helped. The video has since gone viral. At first, it was shared by users on Facebook, but since then it's racked up over 2.3 million views and counting. So far, the comments and feedback have been outstanding, with thousands of women reporting they look decades younger. One viewer even commented, "Best results of anything I've used. I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you." So you can find out more about this yourself right now. Go to bhmd1.com/outspoken or click on the link in the description box below. So that's bhmd1.com/outspoken. Now, there is one thing Dr. Lake asks from his viewers. If watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video, bhmd1.com/outspoken right now, or just click on the description box below. The link is there. But now, back to the show.
I don't know. In my head, I mean, I still feel like this election hasn't happened, because the British public did not want in their blood this man to be prime minister. And he is, of course, now the most unpopular prime minister who survived. I mean, we've got to take Liz Truss out of the equation here, because the equation is that he survived more than 30 days. But he is the most unpopular prime minister in history in the fastest period of time possible. It's been 4 months. The public have already signed a petition of 2.5 million people. We knew it wouldn't do anything, but that's how incensed they are. And they feel that something is off in their bones. They feel something is going wrong in the country. Within the first few weeks of him being prime minister, he was pulling all of these insane levers to lock people up for speaking the truth and for going out and protesting. And for some cases, just being present at a protest. What kind of Orwellian nightmare of a prime minister thinks that keeping the courts open for 24 hours a day to prosecute 13-year-olds, 16-year-olds, and just young people who are fed up is acceptable, is what Britain is all about? This is not the country that people want to live in. We want to live in a democracy. We want to live in a country where you're allowed to use your voice. You're allowed to speak freely. And what Southport has done is it's exposed this massive underbelly of the British establishment, of the bureaucracy, of the power that they have to take you down, the individual man. I think up until this point, the establishment had done a really good job of hiding it, of making you believe that you are in power and making you believe that you are untouchable as a citizen of this country. Well, actually, now you know that the police can come knocking on your door because you want to talk about grooming gangs. You want to talk about what happened in Southport. They will come for you if they want to. And that's the reality, Dan, is that this quivering Starmer has been so scared by the public that actually Southport has revealed his true hand, and the establishment's true hand, probably far sooner than they'd like to.
Totalitarian, absolutely. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.